Hi guys, and welcome to this video, which is the jazz etudes. There's 4 jazz etudes for in a mellow tone. Etude 1 is predominantly used in the ninth and starting on the ninth, so really getting you used to hearing that ninth before you play it. There's also a few chromatic enclosures in etude 1. Let's have a listen to that. Now, what you have to remember with these etudes, something you can do, the whole idea behind the etudes is, if there's any little phrases in there that you like, that I've used, you try to practice them and memorize them. I mean, if you want to do the whole solo, that's fantastic, but that's quite a tall feat. That's quite a hard thing to do. It's very, very time consuming. But if you just take a chunk, maybe 2 or 3 bars, or just a phrase like a 2-5-1, and try and incorporate that into your playing, practice it, maybe practice it in different keys. That is going to really help you develop your jazz vocabulary. Okay, so etude number 2 is all about pretty much chromatic enclosures. Now, obviously, if I'm doing a solo, I would never use this many chromatic enclosures within an improvised solo, but it's an etude. So it's just a way of practicing, and it's something that I do through standards. If I want to practice jazz enclosures, chromatic enclosures, this is how I'll do it. I'll just play a chorus, maybe 10 choruses, just chromatic enclosure after chromatic enclosure. Okay, and then that really gets you hearing that target note, what you're trying to enclose. Okay, so let's have a listen to myself playing etude number 2. So chromatic enclosures, fantastic bit of vocabulary, especially at the quicker tempos, okay? If you listen to Clifford play at those faster tempos, he incorporates chromatic enclosures quite a lot. Okay, etude 3 is just a mixture of lots of vocabulary that we've covered. Let's have a listen to that. And like I say, you can then decide what chunks, what parts of that etude that you might like to incorporate into your playing, okay, if there is any. So the fourth etude is from one of the first jazz etude books I wrote, 15 Jazz Standards, and it just comes from that. So I thought, right, I'm going to incorporate that because it is a great etude in my opinion, and uses lots of different types of vocabulary that we have used and will be covering in the program. Okay, so again, like with all these etudes, if there's any little chunks in there, like a 2-5, I'm talking B flat pitch, that's C minor 7 to F7 to B flat 7, or to B flat major 7, or just to B flat 2, 5, 1. Okay, that is a real big building block of many jazz standards. So maybe you might want to try and incorporate 1 or 2 of those into your playing. Okay, let's have a listen to etude number 4. Okay, so the reasons I've been doing these etudes is 1, for you to be playing something over the chord sequence. 2, to help you understand the learning objectives for the resources for that particular tune. And 3, to steal, beg, borrow any of the phrases in there that you might like to incorporate into your own solos. That's up to you. I don't know what you like, okay? What I also will say is you've got to use other people's vocabulary to just pad out your vocabulary, to get their playing into yours, especially your favourite players, okay? Now, that's why another reason, again, I wrote these etudes, because sometimes our favourite players, their vocabulary is incredibly difficult, okay? Like Clifford Brown, to play a lot of his vocabulary, really, really tricky, especially when he does a lot of double time. But there are elements that I've taken from his playing and I'm still trying to get it into mine. So you can do the same. If there's any elements of these etudes that I've created over any of the tunes within the program, try and get them into your playing too.